people that are interested in cats, the paranormal, and things. Yeah, so basically we're in Saddleworth, what's it called now? Museum and Gallery. Couldn't remember the name for some reason. So we'll have a good look around and hope you enjoy it. So we are currently at Saddleworth Museum. Let's just show you the map of around Saddleworth.
Yeah, I mean, we had all yesterday
That says 1795 was described by Aiken as a wild bleak region of which very small part is under cultivation but industry has accumulated in it a large number of inhabitants who gain a comfortable substance by the manufacture of woolen cloth, for which the place is peculiarly famous. It is. And Huddersfield Road, Diggle. Right, we will turn around. And that's the Castle Shore Roman fort. And a bit of a model of it. So, I'll have to go there sometime. That would be a very interesting place to go. Obviously, it only shows you the outline of what it was. So obviously it's not all going to be there. It's going to be eroded over time and weather conditions. But there you go. And that's basically shaping Saddleworth. The rocks that formed Saddleworth's landscape were deposited here over 300 million years ago, when Britain was near the equator and so had a different climate. The sand, gravel and silt were compressed and squashed over a long time to form the rocks. Well, there you go. So, now, trying to get past Simon. But it says, all the items on display have been found in the Castle Shore area. So, number one, fragment. Number one, that's number one. And it says fragment or sherd of broken pottery from the Roman camp from collection of Reverend Elford. Now, I'm not going to go through every single one because there's quite a few bits and pieces here. Let's see what number 4 is, for example. It says white ware pottery jug next and a black ware jug rim. And these, for number 2, are miscellaneous nails which would have been handmade. So there's plenty of bits and pieces here. Ooh, so let's see what number 10 is. Number 10 is wooden valise or pilum murae, carried by Roman soldiers and used to form a protective barricade around their camps. Let's have a look. Now it says look in the drawers, so are they all locked? Oh, that's not good, is it?
These ones you can look in.
Yeah. Now it says what would survive? Have a look at the collection and see if you can work out which objects from today will be left behind for people to find in hundreds of years' time. So this is, what's it? A teacup and a bowl. Just swapping hands. These glued on? Yes, they are. Pottery made from clay that has been baked lasts for a long time. And archaeologists find pottery that is thousands of years old. So there you go, pottery. Now this is meant to be leather, I'm assuming. Oh, sugar. Leather made of animal skin only survives if the area is very wet or very dry. Well, there you go. Now this is like wool, so I'm assuming it's gloves. Fabric does not survive well. No, it doesn't. In normal conditions. So most clothing would not be left for the archaeologists of the future. Now these are tickets. They won't last. No way. It's paper. Paper is made from wood, an organic material, and will not last very long underground. Very true. Plastic, oh God, that never erodes that horrible stuff. Probably crumbles them. Plastic is one of the longest lasting materials. This is why we encourage you to recycle plastic materials, because they do not decompose. Pencils. Now, I think they were 40 pieces because they're like wood and lead. Not too sure about the lead though. Archaeologists only find items made from wood if the area is very wet or very dry, so we would not expect a pencil to survive. Now, I didn't think so. Keys, metal. Many metals are long lasting, although some objects are fragile and might get squashed or broken. So there we go. And then it's talking about the archaeologist and, whoops, me walking sticks getting caught. It says, have a go, see if you can put those pots together. Well, I don't even know if they do move. So Simon's going to have a go. Let's see if he does well. No, it's all in one thing, isn't it? Makes it easier. Might be upside down, that.
There you go.
No, I think they're the wrong way around. Try and swap them round. Yeah, to that outside, yeah. And the other outside. Yep, that one's easy. They've just only been pulled apart. Yes, it is. Yay, right. Yes, it is. So I'm glad there's no steps, otherwise. Ooh. That must be a type of axe. Can only assume. Number 7. Polished stone axe, yes. But unfortunately, they put all the item right across all the writing. Can you tell from these small pieces of pottery what they were? No. Right, come on. Around we go. The stone axe dates from 4000 to 2300 BC. So the stone is not a local one, and we think that axes like this travelled quite a long way to be traded. This axe would have been fixed to a wooden handle and used for cutting down trees and chopping wood. And there's pictures of arrow heads. And then we get collectors and finders. Wow. Some extraordinary objects. Let's see what this one is. I don't know what, no, oh, 4. 4 is a horn core of a young bison. Kriss. And number 5, that's that one. That is stone axe, rough cut axe head from Craig Lude, North Wales. And it shows you pictures of the old coins. Right. This glass vase is 2,000 years old. The Romans used glass to make containers and for mosaic tiles and small windows. This vase would have been made by blowing the hot glass, a technique invented by the Romans. Well, there you go. Oh, wow. That's very, yeah. And that's Oldham. Oldham Corporation Waterworks and the surrounding district. It says there. Right. Oops, I'm going down a slope. Let me have a look at these bikes. Or does it all go one way and we go round and come back on ourselves? Yeah, I'll go round this way and then come back on myself. Water. Well, see enough of that when it's raining, don't we? And it's Saddleworth landscape. Well, we've actually seen a couple of waterfalls. It was a long time ago in my videos, but we have seen some. Did you know Digger water wheel was the largest water wheel in England with a diameter of 64 foot 8 inches, which is 19.7 metres. A complete revolution of the wheel took 45 seconds and generated about 190 horsepower. That's quite strong, very strong. And that's the tools I was using for the farming. So it's all farming tools. Look at them. Definitely different from the equipment that's used today. So, wow. Says a Saddleworth landscape has been shaped by the people who lived here. In 1795, the area was described as a wild, bleak region, of which a very small part is under cultivation. So the soil in most areas of Saddleworth is acidic, which is not very good for growing crops. Nope. If needed, lime, which has been brought into the district. So in 1795, it was brought by pack horse from Derbyshire, which was then a substantial cost of £1.50 per tonne. The opening of Huddersfield Narrow Canal was just over 10 years later, radically reduced this cost. Later, lime kilns were created next to the canal at Brownhill, Dob Cross. The pastures created by drainage and with added lime were used for sheep, kept for their wool. So, yes. And we've got other tools. Let's have a little look. I'm guessing number 7 is the old sheep shears. So let's see if we're correct. Yep. Even says a pair of sheep shears used to trim the wool of 1900 to 1920. An 8 malt shovel used for spreading malt. So that's how they did your beer. Woohoo! Number 9, peat cutter. So it will be this tool. Peat cutter used to cut peat on the moors, which was burned in local houses. So there you go. Oh, that's a horn. Number 6, drenching horn made from a cow's horn, used for pouring drenches or medicine down the throats of farm animals. That looks like you clip nails, maybe on a horse, for 5. Norse ringing tool, a clamping tool, so I was wrong, used for fixing rings into pigs' noses to stop them rooting in the ground. And number 4, butter making cream skimmer, used to extract the cream from which the butter was made in 1910. There's a few other things. Some awesome things. Did you know the word delf means quarry? Well, there you go. So it's talking about using kilns and pottery. Yeah, bakestone quarries. Round call that. How did a bakestone work? Heat is retained by the stone and evenly distributed. One day I'll put my teeth in. One of these days. This is how they do your shoes. The clog. Maker's bench. So there you go. Those shoes were built to last, but I bet they hurt a lot. Talk about ouchie. And it says, machine made in Saddleworth. The main industry in Saddleworth was wool, which was traditionally produced in Yorkshire, being on the border with Lancashire, which was focused on cotton. There was inevitably, I can't say it, a number of cotton mills in the area, and I live in a cotton mill worker's house. So there you go. So, it says it all, really. Oh, little toy. I know it's for clogs, but a different type of clog for machinery. Oh, God, I remember seeing them old clocks. I'm sure, yes, I've seen a few of them. Funny how they've got the 7 and it looks like an upside down 2. Wool. Made in Saddleworth. 1. The clock was made by Hurst Bros at Tameside Clockworks Measurements Mill. Well, there you go. Football shirt, which will be that one. Leicester FC, made with yarn dyed by Saddleworth Yarns Dryers. I'm not going through them all, but we want to know what 5 says. Piano felts. There you go. 5. Piano felts, made by Bury, Cooper and Whitehead, Royal George Mill, Greenfield. Got dental floss, which is down here. Made by Tanner Bros, Waterside Mill, Greenfield. So there's a few things that have been made. Oh, I've not seen any of them for ages. Industrial in Saddleworth. And then tells you all the things that was made. Saddleworth makers. Oh wow, the biggest in the world. Henry, where have I seen that sign? I've seen that before somewhere. You get comfortable because things are sliding down. It says, at its peak, Platts of Oldham was described as the biggest engineering works in the world. The company employed 15,000 people and made textile machinery that was used all over the world. In the 1890s, it is estimated that the works supported 42% of Oldham's population. Well, there you go. Ooh, a motor car. Look at that. The story of Little Wilford, our Austin 7 car. So it's a bit of a story. I'm going to just show you, and if you wish to read it, you know what to do. You pause the video. I'm going to go down it slowly as I can, without shaking like a spanner too much. And there's the next bit. I'm trying to keep the shadow off, but it's not working. I'm sorry. Let's have a look at this car. Oh wow. How cool inside this car. So tiny. It's so cool. And Baby Austin. Says, Baby Austin was a car that was brought motoring to thousands and become nicknamed Chummy. It was launched in 1922. It cost 165, had a side value, 4-cylinder engine, 3-speed gearbox, electric lighting, and rather feeble 4-wheel brakes. The car was designed by Herbert Austin, 1866-1941. He has shared his own business in 1906, and the Austin name was going to be seen on the roads until the 1960s. This car was made in Birmingham in 1933. So, it tells you all about it. Right. And then this says about the building of Saddleworth. Tells you about all the buildings and what they're made from. So the character of Saddleworth buildings made of locally quarried millstone grit reflects the landscape in which they sit. The earliest buildings were essentially workplaces for farming and weaving cloth. 3-story cottages provide an extra floor with rows of windows for hand looms. So, yes. That's pretty cool. No way. I used to live on that address, so that's where it comes from. Ammon Wrigley. I used to live in Ammon Wrigley Close, didn't I? Yeah. A long time ago. Poet and historian from 1861 to 1946. So that's probably where the name comes from. It's got to have done. Yeah. And it's in Oldham. There's a statue on the grass outside the museum. This is Ammon Wrigley, a man of wide-ranging interests. So there's quite a bit there. I'll give you this. In 1931, the Ammon Wrigley Fellowship was formed. Enthusiasts and friends met with Ammon to discuss and hear his work. He spent his life as a mill worker and died in 1946. His ashes were scattered as he requested near the dinner stone at the head of Castleshaw Valley, where bronze plaques commemorate his life. The museum archives have an extensive collection of his books, poems, songs, and manuscripts. Very cool. Now, I've missed the other side of here, haven't I? Didn't I go down that side?
You didn't go where the bikes are, and you've not seen that yet either.
Okay, I'll get to the bikes. I know. Oh, they look like stained glass windows from perhaps a church or something. Number 1, stained glass from St. Chad's. Ah, I was correct. But they are definitely not boomerangs. That's for sure too. Mason's instruments for using setting out curves and angles. Whoa. They look like very old hats.
It's all old hat.
Oh, look at the size of them nails. Jeez. A double dry stone wall. Shows you a little model of it. Probably sounds. Oh, the bikes are here. What's this? Standard tunnels. Oh, that's where the boat ride is. Says the model depicts the construction of the first railway tunnel at Redbrook, viewed looking towards the Diggle end. The tunnel was excavated in both directions from this point, and the swell taken out by narrowboat via the adjacent canal tunnel. The vertical shaft in the front of the model is the Redbrook Down cast pit shaft. So I'm assuming it will be that. 150 metres, 163.5 yards to the surface. A stream on the ground above was diverted down the shaft in the form of a spray. This drew fresh air down into the tunnels and the vertical shaft over the canal up cast pit. Allowed the smoke to escape. The small submerged passage carried the water into the canal. Now, wow. Our 1915 Triumph bike. Wow. How awesome is that bike? Then you've got the Triumph Coventry. Wow, look at these. On the move. Vetasipede bone shaker. I bet it shook your bones going on that. My bike. Is that the equivalent of a type of tandem or something? Power Elogram tricycle. Okay. Let's have a look. The first appearance of a bicycle in Saddleworth. Wow. Ride a rally. And then going by bus. Yes. And then it gives you all the routes. Shaking, so I had to change hands again. Right. A moment in time. Tells you to touch to begin, but I'm not going to at the moment. Is that a horse's saddle? No, a carter's saddle. Show you the saddle first. It says this saddle would have been used by a local carrier or farmer. Serves as a reminder that up to the turn of the 20th century, the horse was the main means of motive power on our roads. Well, yes it was. Right. And a Tilly lamp. Don't walk in front of me, please. Yes, you will. Says, this is a Tilly lamp that was used on barges in the Standedge Canal Tunnel in the early 20th century. The lamp we placed on the deck of the barge as it entered the tunnel to light its way through. So, a bit more to it. Now, everybody should know the penny farthing. If you don't, well, now you do. I would dread falling off that. So that's why I got the name, because there was the penny. Oh, fudge. And farthing. Right. I'm just going to go past the pictures. Banking in Saddleworth. This is a bit more interesting. Wow, look at the size of them notes. £1. Good grief. £1 and £5 notes from Saddleworth Bank. Oh, wow. The size of them. They are huge. 1 guinea a note of the Broadhurst Saddleworth Bank. 5 shilling notes issued by banks at Broadhurst Greenfield in Delft.
I don't think Jack would be happy with that because he likes going to Saddleworth because it's newer.
Mule spinning frame.
Do you know John? He's right nice, Jack.
Ooh, I wonder if it comes from the Wind the Bobbin song. The spinning mule. It says, invented by Samuel Crompton between 1775 and 1779. The spinning mule was used in the mills of Lancashire and elsewhere to spin cotton and wool fibres. The improved self-acting, automatic that is, mule was painted in by Richard Roberts in 1825, and at its peak there was many as, oh bloody hell, that's a lot, 50 million? 1,500,000, sorry, I was getting that wrong, mule spindles in Lancashire alone. They used to be worked by a minder and 2 young boys, small enough to move under the suspended threads and piece together many that snapped and clean parts of the machine that became clogged with fibres. This was dangerous for the boys if the minder didn't stop the machine in time. I'm not surprised. That's pretty brutal. So this was in Pingle Mill, Delft. And there's another. That's like a painting of one. And then we've got the MILF Delft of 1905. So let's have a look. Oh wow, the clothes. Oh, I don't want to go that way. I want to go this way. It says haymaking on Car Barn, Greenfield, 1930. Now Car Lane. There you go. A horse and cart. Fulling. The process of fulling was also known as tucking or walking, and the workers were called fullers, walkers and tuckers. These titles became used as surnames. Well, there you go. Something else new. Look at all the spindles, all the cotton. Turn the handle to make the fulling hammers work. Okay. Made in Saddleworth, cotton versus wool. All the tools. There's a labourer's certificate that's actually been made enlarged so we can all see it. 1892, Florence Greenhaig, yeah, of, can't see what that is, something field, Greenfield, and it's the 5th of August, 1905, 85. Less than 12 years of age. Flipping heck. There you go. Another machine. Wow. Look at that. Turn around. And that's the loom from Dobcross.
That's it working on the video.
So they're showing it working. So obviously we don't want to mess with that. Let me just turn it. That's very noisy. Very noisy. You can see it sending the, I forgot what it's called now, the thing that goes through.
Shuttle.
Is it shuttle?
I think so.
Yeah.
Not shuttlecock.
No, shuttlecock. No, I'm sure you played that. See, it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it just goes up and down. But obviously, like it said on the thing that I read earlier, obviously it gets tangled with the fibres. And little people, young children, would have to go underneath. And obviously accidents happen. Oh, chimney sweeps, I'm assuming. Oh, carpet sweeper, no way. Do you want a job? I need a sit down. Well, I think we all do. I like to sing. Our waistcoats are unique. How do I look? See what this is under here. Oh, Morris dancers. Not many Morris teams wear a waistcoat. We are famous for our distinctive red, white and blue pattern and our hats of fresh flowers. Our waistcoats must be earned. We have to perform the Greenfield dance perfectly to earn one. The dance is usually our first dance of the season on Maundy Thursday, performed on Road End opposite the King William, so the 4th pub. It's either 4th. No, it's not 5th. 4th pub in Greenfield. We have our own material made to make the waistcoats. The last bolt was produced in 1990s, and only in 2014 was a new batch produced by Marsalaeus of Delft. This should keep us with waistcoats for the next 20 years. Good grief. So let's have a look. I like to sing. My name is Lizzie and I'm 11 years old. I began working at Alexander Mill in Upper Mill when I was 10 years old. I work as a tenter, a weaver's assistant, and have to fit the bobbins. We begin at 6 in the morning and work until 9 at night, but we get Sunday off and go to church. I like singing the hymns and learn to read at Sunday school. Fudge. I can't go down that far for that one. I'd need more than a sit down, I'd need a lay down. Look at that stacked up high. Saddleworth Men's Morris. Now we just looked at the loom. Oh fudge. Weaving and mechanization, sorry. See, I need to read all of the word. Wow. All the different materials. Tartan swatches from Buckley New Mill, Upper Mill, JF and C. Kenworthy. Got all them swatches. 2 spindles, olive green. That's them. Let's go down this way, it's better. 3 bobbins, various colours. That's where it's, wind the bobbin. 4 textile shears from Kidler's Mill and Greenfield. So there's the big shears. 5. There's 5, 2, 3. Oh, that would be the pattern book. Those are the swatches. That's the pattern book, sorry. 6, narrow length of wood, knitted at Pring Mill, Delft. 6 colours mixed. Fibre grey. Tan, chestnut, blue-green, dark blue and dark green. Oh yeah. A model loom. Model of it. This is a small scale model of a loom that was probably made by apprentices of Dodd Cross Looms Works in 1900. It's nice. I would happily stroke it, but I don't think it's a good idea. Oh, Florence Banbury. That's what she wore. And that's for the first aid, the certificate for it. Let's zoom in a little bit. Pressed the wrong button, didn't I? Anne Bradbury. So all the things that she had with her. That's the photograph of the lady. And the British Voluntary Aid Detachment, VAD, from 1909 to 1918. That's from Pall Mall, London. A strap from the Yorkshire Post of 1917. Again, if you wish to read it, oops, stop the video and have a look. Wow, nurses. Look at the uniform. So, this is Saddleworth Military Hospital. And it says patients and nurses at Ashway Gap Military Hospital. And that's 20th of July, 1916. Anne L. and Florence Bunty, that's her nickname, I'm assuming, Bradbury, are circled. So those are them in that picture, which I can try and write this gimbal and try and zoom in a little bit. There they are circled. Right. Ooh. Very old. Ah, the machine got me. Desk. So I'm assuming this is like the workstation that they had for a nurse, and they would dispense medication and whatever.
What an inkwell.
Oh yeah, it is an inkwell, so they might write the notes up as well, wouldn't they? They'd need to write the notes up.
Yeah.
So, right. Right, let's have a little look. Oh, wakes. Yes, the Oldham wakes, where they shut down for 2 weeks. So I remember this, and obviously we had this when my children were at school. It says, for many families working in the textile industry, the wakes week was their only holiday for 5 days. Well, we did 2 weeks, but yeah, Oldham wakes was a week. There you go. 5 days each year, the mill stood still, and the workers enjoyed time off. By the 1970s, as the textile industry declined and the tradition of annual wakes came to an end, well, they didn't really, because they kept this sort of tradition in Oldham, because my children used to be off. But then they would lose a week, the holidays, instead to compensate for it. Clothing for the coming wakes. There you go. Yorkshire Street. And there's Blackpool Tower, how it looked. More the families. Can you imagine only having 5 days holiday each year? But that's it. That's how it was. Even says, before train travel, people stayed at home for the holiday. Each town took the holiday on a different week between June and September. The focus of the Wakes week was the fairground that appeared for the holiday. Other popular pastimes included visiting the Moorcock Inn for a picnic, Summer Shades Pleasure Gardens, and the fairground in Kesley Park in Dobcross. In later years, they enjoyed Groton Lido and the outdoor pool. Well, there you go. And let's have a look. Harmonium. Sorry, but I'm not going to sit there and rock things out because I can't read music anyway. There you go. The Church and the Lord's Day. That's what's on there. Saddleworth Life Peterloo. And tells you about the Peter Cross Massacre. Place St. Petersfield, Manchester, August the 16th, 1819. Purpose, a rally in support of the reformers, a protest against hunger and unemployment. And then it gives you all the actual thing that happened. Again, you can stop the video and have a look. And there goes the second bit. And then gives you the arrests and trial. Saddleworth Peterloo banner. I'll show you it in a minute. And there's the banner. Walk around a little bit. Who wants to be a Saddleworth millionaire so you can actually play a game? So this is more aimed at children. Shows you pictures of all the things that was on. Open air musical festival. Around. Now this is going into school and sports. I'm going to go up here and then we'll go back down. Lord Rhodes of Saddleworth. He was an aviator, manufacturer and legislator. So there you go. Let's have a little look. Upper Mill brass. Wow, fancy wearing that. That makes me feel hot just looking at it. Call that velvet. Look at the feather. And then talks about the war. World War One. Wow, look at that, and the badges. No, the badges, the medals. Wrist banner. Toby, Hervey's flying mascot for every sortie. Cool. Lord Lieutenant's cap. And the original dual dog tags. One for burial, one for the family. So that'll be them there. For Harvey Baron Rhodes, coat of arms of London. And this is a meeting of Ronald Reagan. Oh, look at the old shoe. In my mind, Hervey may well be the reincarnation of some Chinese sage of old who passes on to us lesser mortals, the benefit of his wisdom and understanding, and that Sir Lawrence Cowdeer. This is life and work in Saddleworth. So this will be the work that this guy did. This Lieutenant. Upper Mill Band. If you want to buy the CDs, which, no. And all the awards they got. And they played for 40 years, from 1979 to 2019, celebrating 40 years of music making. Well, there you go. I feel like I'm going up in the world. There's a bit of a slope here. Cool. I'm missing things behind me. Oh wow, look at the old clothes. 1930s. In the time of the Wizard of Oz. Radio. Girl's own birthday book. Look at that camera. And that dress. Too many flowers for my liking. And the clothes. Let's see, the Oxford Mini Dictionary of Spelling. I do have an Oxford Dictionary somewhere. Look at that telephone. Oh wow. The address books and Christmas cards. Devon Cottage. Look at that phone. That's doing your ink. They had beautiful handwriting then as well. I remember them Baslington Bond sheets of paper with watermarks. Hang on a minute. They've got the AirPods in here. Calculator. Cassettes and cassette player. Sony radio. Mobile phones. Well, it tells you the ages of phones, I think. Yep. In a bit of a hurry and just writing a few lines. Well, they don't do that much anymore. Playing cards. Another camera. Look at that phone. 1930s phone. Is made of bakelite, an early form of plastic, and shows how the telephone signal was transmitted as an electrical charge through wires. Right, there's still more. Didn't expect it to be this big. Start over here. Upper Mill Industrial Cooperative Society Limited Registered Office. Look at that teddy and that doll. Remember my auntie had one of them dolls. But I think she's got it now. Children's times in the children's clothes in Victorian times. I do actually have some Victorian pictures from my grandma and great grandma. Look at that old border, snakes and ladders. Shoes. An old tin money box. Your farmyard. Look at this, girls, Victorian girls. Never wore breeches, but as they grew older, their skirt hems lowered from the knee length to the calf and then to an ankle, gradually mimicking the adult fashions. So the girls wore a number of layers underneath. A chemise or a loose-fitting shirt, a pair of drawers, which are long knickers, a light corset, stockings, and at least 2 petticoats. Oh my days. So this is some of the stuff here. Oh, a baby's bottle, which was shaped like a banana. Undergarments for girls. The bib. Look at that. The christening gown. This christening gown was worn in 1904 by Ashley, as shown in the photograph. So it would be that. The size of that. So I'm assuming these are something like the dresses and christening gowns. Boys. Victorian infants of both sexes wore dresses until little boys were breeched or taken out of their baby clothes and dressed in trousers or knickerbockers. This could occur from the age of 3 to 6 years. Again, I could read it all, but there's a lot to read and I've got a lot to get around. With the baby bonnets. See, it was always tradition to wear white for both sexes. And bonnets. Ear caps. Look at them little shoes, moccasins. Infants' moccasins type leisure shoes, 1850. Says the children from poor families had to wear patched and mended clothes. The poorest often went barefoot, even in winter, when they would use newspaper to pad their clothes to try to keep warm. And then we carry on. Wow, look at this dressing table. It's make, do and mend. Well, they don't do much nowadays. They tend to throw a lot of it away. It says these words have become synonymous with British home front and was the official policy during the war years. People were encouraged to mend and alter their clothes to try to restyle them and give them a new life. Yeah, I was saying that. Yardley, you don't see that anymore. But I do remember Yardley. Mirror. Oh, look at them stockings. Ooh, nasty. Surprised you could actually move in half of this. Oh dear. Nice little tea set. Underwear. Women's Royal Voluntary Service. Women's Voluntary Service. Look at the dress or the uniform for it. Ration book. Clothing book. That little sewing machine. Sewing machines now, I remember seeing them because I went to an old school. It used to be a Victorian school and they still had one of these. So I did actually see it work. So it was pretty cool. Look at them thimbles. Sewing Susan. And it gives you the rations of what they had to pay. If they want stockings was 3 coupons, a coat was 14, and a dress was 11. As a result, clothes became precious and people had to be creative in order to be well dressed. And this is to do with the Sunday school. Saddleworth and the Great War. Paper knife with bullet from the Battle of Mons, 1914. Trench souvenir, copper cup made from rifle cartridge cases. That hat. World War I helmet from Duke of Wellington's Regiment, West Riding. Them hats, they've got to be in a fair weight. Old binoculars. And there's like a memorial stone. All the names are on there. It says 1996, 32 and 1. Wool belt, that's what that is. Decorated with Allied flags, embroidered by Thomas Ainsworth of Wall Hill Cottage, Dobcross. Now we did some on the World War I and II, when we, well not one, sorry, two. Pulitzer. Emergency chocolate ration, and it was by Nestle. Steel rod set in bamboo cane carried by officers in both World War I and World War II. Sergeant's khaki stripes. First aid cabinet. Gas mask. Goggles. World War II West Riding Regiment forage cap. So that with a cap. I'm just looking at that as well. That looks like one of them type of drink decanter. My Fave Hymns and Prayers. Italian bayonet and scarabed plaques and other things. Look at that telephone there. Oh, it's another canteen. Right. Wow, look at that wedding dress from the museum's costume collection. Oh, wow. It's pretty, but I still wouldn't wear it. It's still pretty. A sample of the bridesmaid's dress material. The dresses were made by a family friend who was a milliner. That's some dressed up. I do actually have some old family pictures. I may actually have to find them. And then, your country needs you. News from the front. Love to all at home. It says follow the arrows, but I did only just in that. Taking of life at Moorcock Inn. It says on the Monday evening of April 2nd, 1832, a dark and shocking event occurred at the Moorcock Inn, Greenfield, when the landlord Thomas Badbury and his gamekeeper's son Thomas Badbury were violently unalived at this remote pub on the edge of the bleak moorland. The bodies of two unfortunate victims were not discovered until Tuesday morning in a scene of bloody carnage that sent shockwaves through the local community and beyond. Reported at the time as one of the most diabolical murders ever committed. Wow. So it's a fair bit to read. And I can't see where the numbers are for this. This is items display, so these are all related to it. There was £100 reward. For them days, that was a lot of money. Oh, sugar. In the mill pond. So these are the things that have been found in, oh, I'm sorry, but Nokias, you can never get rid of them. They will live forever and ever and ever. Bottles. Look, one of them looks like an old milk bottle. Shoe. Yes. There's a few things here. So look at this. Oh, Cindy. Yeah, I used to have a Cindy as a child, but I never really took off as well as Barbie. Beano book. Horton's Adventure Stories. Girls Crystals. Crystal, no, never heard of that. Snakes and Ladders. Wow. All the toys for children. Oh no, that was a very, very old Paddington bear. I've got a bear like that. They're one in black and white. Looks a bit better than that one though. The train sets and oh, the xylophones. Dominoes, toy cat and puppets. black doll, a pony, and more games. Grand Bazaar. Oh, this is doing a puppet show. We don't really do anything like that anymore. I used to love that as a kid, watching puppet shows, as corny as they were. Oh look, there's the naughty dragon. The Pelham puppets. And the noise it's making out there, it sounds like somebody's running away. Yoshi, why have you escaped? What are you doing here, you naughty boy? Right, we've still got more. Oh wow, God is love. Wow. Now that I like. That is really pretty.
Probably use the dress at the minute.
Oh yeah.
Them kind of dresses.
Oh yeah. We are not amused. Queen Victoria. Please look and enjoy, but do not touch. Well, considering the stuff is all fragile, I wouldn't touch. Not very. Yep.
Kitchen behind you as well.
I know, I'll get there. Oh, the old iron. A little small Victorian kitchen. You'd hang your garments in the kitchen. Ah, yes, that's what you'd use to make little small cakes or pies. Grind up your meat. Says this is a display of a Victorian kitchen that would have been typical of a number of houses in Saddleworth in 1890. All the stuff in front of your, like an Aga. On to the next. Oh, my back's starting to give. Oh, this is where you do all your weaving. And you use a spinning wheel. A decent chair. That would live forever. Look at that. Look at that. Now that's the type of unit. I wonder if they noticed me trying to pick it up. I doubt it. It's huge, but beautiful. The cottage lant jars. If I can read this. It says the 19th century for stored lant urine, in other words, for Messrs. Huge Kershaws and Sons Mosley. See the initials H and K. Lant was used with urine, whether human or animal, provided a cheap source of ammonia which was used to degrease the raw wool before processing. The jars were given out to households and collected when full. Well, there you go. Then it tells you all the things that they had to do for the industry. The words are starting to go even worse. Tells you all the things that they did. Again, stop and read. On display, that's a vacuum cleaner. Imagine trying to get that round the corner. Oh, fudge, that. This is a dust door, which is an early domestic vacuum cleaner. Two people needed to use. Well, I'm not surprised. 2 people. I would have cried. Wow. Then it asks you to look inside the drawers and see what they were needed or used for. I'm not going to do all of these, but I want to see what B was.
B?
So B? No.
I know what that is. Shh. You have to guess.
A radio? It's a bulky radio.
Yeah, guess and see if you can guess. Start from there.
Is that a jelly mould?
Yeah.
Ah.
Let's see then.
Is that some sort of mixing pot in it?
No,
No?
it's potato peel.
Is it?
Yeah.
No way.
What's that then?
Do not know.
Try and guess.
It's not a chastity belt or anything, so it's the
How
wrong
could it be
thing.
a chastity
I just don't
belt?
mean, I know that, you numpty, but it's got some sort of locking mechanism on it, so I don't know.
It's a dog collar.
Is it? Poor dog.
Well, that's the next one there.
Cooker.
Yeah, pressure cooker.
Oh, pea pot. Lamp.
That's fly trap.
Fly trap. Ah.
Yeah, and then you might be able to guess that one.
No.
It's for putting in a music box.
Oh,
You know,
right.
self-playing one. And that's a
Pea pot.
pole. Yeah.
Yeah, Portaloo. Portaloo. Right. Let's have a look at these before we go. St Mary's Church clock. And that's all the mechanisms for inside. This clock was originally of St Mary's Church, Greenfield. It's placed here by a family friend and colleagues as a tribute to George Dew, the man, and his achievements. Right. So you can see the pendulum swinging. Oh my days. Max Killing. That is really cool. I know. That's all been made by that little cotton. Ah, look at this, the cottage. Hand loom. Do not touch. So it's a hand loom. The hand loom, which carried from Slackcote Mill, Delft, was originally a simple hand loom as used by Saddleworth domestic weavers. The loom had been adapted to take a flying shuttle, which was invented by John Kay in 1733. So there you go. And then look at this. Show you around here. You must have had a sore bum sitting on that. That's what children play with. Oh, look at that. More weaving. My days. Do not start. Bless you. It says, before the 1950s, most farming families also wove cloth on hand looms. So, yes. And then we're getting near to the end, which says about pots and pans. We've been there, haven't we?
No.
No, not that one.
I was talking about going there at one point.
Oh, yeah.
We went to Hearts High, but it was night and there was lots of people there.
Yes, there was. Well, it told you to look through the window, but you can't because it's all foggy. So it's no good looking outside. Outside the window.
Oh, no, it means downstairs there's another picture of it.
Oh, right.
You can't
And
see
then
it from here.
the votes for women. The suffragettes. Suffragettes and suffragettes. And the time register. That is beautiful. And then you got this up here.
1881.
Very nice. You knew that year very well, didn't you, Simon?
Yes.
Right. Right, just finished. So I had a good look around. So I was in there for quite a while. It was only £3 entry fee, so which is pretty good because it goes to the upkeep of the museum. So £3 each is relatively cheap. Yeah, it's pretty nice in there. The people are nice, and there was a lift that I could use so it's helpful for people that are disabled. So I'd definitely be a place worth visiting. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, share and subscribe, and thank you for watching. Bye.